Well, I had this guy in back east that was a booze runner. So he came out one year, stopped at the shop, and he says, I understand you guys build engines for other people other than your own racing. And I said, yeah. He says, well, I'm going to be honest with you. He says, I'm a bootlegger and I run booze. And he says, I need something to outrun the police and the revenuers. So will you build me an engine? So I said, yeah, we'll build you engines. So we built him an engine. And he was blowing them all off. I mean, they couldn't catch him. He was just having a ball. And so I finally got one of the engines back that he'd blown, and he says, I'm still way ahead of these guys. He says, the next engine, he says, you build me, he says, build it with a little margin of safety. I'll never forget that. So anyway, I started backing the engines down a little bit because he didn't really need that much. And they started living, and he was out running the revenuers. They weren't catching him. This guy walks in one day, he's all dressed in a nice suit and everything, and he hands me a card, and he's from the Internal Revenues. Anyway, And he says, I understand that you're the guy that's been building engines for Phillips back there. And he says, we can't catch him. So he says, will you build us engines? And I says, well, my man's not going to like that, but I says, I guess I can, yeah. He says, will you build them the same? And I says, yeah, we always do that. So I started building engines for them, and then it was just a nip and tuck thing from there on. And I've had a very interesting life.